Hi there, welcome to Rumor Spill. If you have been scrolling through social media during the past few days, there is a good chance that you have come across some chatter regarding Jason Lee. Can you remember the time when he made headlines by openly challenging Beyonce on his talk show, as if he was attempting to put her in a difficult situation while she was already on air? He went so far as to threaten to reveal some really confidential information regarding the marriage of Beyonce and Jay-Z if Beyonce was unable to succeed in obtaining Kelly Rowland to appear on his show at that particular moment. In addition to the fact that he was receiving a lot of criticism for putting Beyonce in such a precarious position, people were scratching their brains and wondering what Jason was trying to say. But now, with all these rumors going around that Beyonce might be thinking about ending her relationship with Jay-Z, many are taking a second look at Jason's statements and coming to the realization that the issue is a great deal deeper and more complicated than it initially appeared to be. There are only so many things that Jay-Z can keep a lid on or pay off. He can't keep a lid on this forever, and they both know it. This is one of the major reasons why they are already living separate lives and may be heading for one of the most significant splits in Hollywood. This whole problem began a few months ago when Jason got his nose out of joint since Beyonce did not invite him to the London premiere of her Renaissance film. This was the turning point in the entire situation. It was especially hurtful for him because Beyonce had already brought out the red carpet for a number of other famous people throughout the event. While Jason was upset, he asserted that he and Beyonce had been close for a very long time. The fact that he claimed to have spent a staggering $40,000 on Renaissance show tickets and other goods for himself and his team was the thing that really went under his skin. Beyonce left him out in the cold, which hurt much more than it did other influencers who received the nod despite not putting out as much money or support. This was despite the fact that they were meant to be friends, even though they were supposed to be friends. In addition to this, Jason was of the opinion that it was a smack in the face whenever other black community leaders excluded him from the discussion. The Breakfast Club should have shown more love to African Americans, according to him. I'm not even going to get into what I've done here because if I were to drop the beans on Beyonce's home territory, it would be a very different scenario entirely. I did tell you all about what I've been doing, but shortly after that, things became even more chaotic. After spending thousands of dollars on tickets, I decided to share the experience with my friends. Beyonce was essentially given a strong arm by Jason when he stated that he would keep his mouth shut about the dirt he had on her, but only if she could get Kelly Rowland to sit down for an interview with him. In the course of his outburst, he made a veiled reference to the fact that he possessed some damaging information about Beyonce, which left the guests on his show wide-eyed and eager for more information. I am going to attempt it right now because I am interested in seeing how they react to it. Although Johnny is going to bleep out this portion of the broadcast, I am going to reveal the truth to you so that you will not be aware of what it is. And it is at that moment that I am reminded of the fact that we are all in this together, supporting one another. Imagine for a moment that I were to tell Hollywood, oh, there's one more thing that surpasses this, Johnny W. It would be a nightmare. At this point, I was under the impression that Beyonce had acknowledged my presence, although it's possible that she is completely unaware of the situation. The fact that I have the goods is something that Yvette is aware of, and I am aware that Beyonce and her crew will not inform her about it. Once I have received the communication from Beyonce, I will be able to transmit it directly to her. It is possible for me to deliver it to Beyonce because I am in the know.
The current situation is that we are attempting to hire Kelly Rowland for that gig. If I am unable to obtain her because of what I stated, then it is going to be an issue. I am going above and beyond in this regard. As soon as I disclose the receipts that I just described, I believe that individuals such as her publicist, whom I admire, will be forced to deal with the consequences of my actions. I shouldn't be afraid because I'm not going anywhere. I just want you to know that I am not participating in the industry game at this time. Jason received a great deal of criticism, despite the fact that many people regarded his actions as being impulsive and improper. However, in light of the recent reports that have been circulating regarding the alleged difficulties that Beyonce and Jay-Z are experiencing in their marriage, some people are reevaluating Jason's threats and questioning if they were based on more fundamental problems inside their relationship. Those who are perplexed by the origin of these rumors should know that they started spreading not long after information became public about Jay-Z's interactions with Diddy and his many connections. It would appear that Beyonce was triggered by some questionable dealings that Jay-Z had with Diddy, and she is eager to put any potential fallout from the past behind her. In addition, there's a lot of scrutiny surrounding the dynamics of Beyonce and Jay-Z's marriage, particularly when one considers that she was only 18 years old when they first met and he was getting close to 30 years old. The recently discovered evidence implies that Jay-Z had an affair with Foxy Brown.
This finding draws comparisons to Diddy's connection with Cassie, which occurred when she was only 19 years old and he was only 15 years old. This raises questions about the dynamics and ethics that exist within the entertainment industry. Jay-Z is next in line. Excuse me, November, okay, once the PTB, or whatever you want to call them, in the industry have finished with Diddy, is that correct? It will take some time, but once the public shaming that has been going on has subsided, which is basically after the major documentaries have been released, that is when, I suppose, you could say that they are finished with Diddy. That brings us to Jay-Z, right? When it comes to Jay-Z and Foxy Brown, for some reason, you all have a tendency to conveniently forget how young she was when he was with her, forget that he was rolling with R. Kelly, and ignore the fact that he is rumored to have been involved in a lot of other things throughout his career. However, you guys have a tendency to brush over the fact that they were involved in a lot of activities together. On the other hand, Jay-Z is able to keep a lot of things under wraps because he utilizes effective public relations and marketing strategies, and he also has a significant portion of the industry pie. Beyonce is a powerful force in her own right. The appearance of Beyonce's former bodyguard, who came forward a few months ago and claimed that Jay-Z had a firm grasp over Beyonce, is the first factor that should be taken into consideration. Yes, Beyonce uses drugs. She's been doing it for a long time, and you keep her that way. When Jay-Z criticized the Grammy Awards for continually ignoring Beyonce's album as the album of the year despite her extraordinary talent and work, the rumors of a divorce began to gain traction and spread throughout the music industry. As a result of this public criticism, questions developed about their marital status. At the same time that many people applauded Jay-Z for standing up for Beyonce and supporting him, others couldn't help but observe that Beyonce appeared to be uncomfortable and dissatisfied throughout his speech, as well as the words that he chose to use. Despite the fact that I do not wish to make this young lady feel embarrassed, even by your own standards, this does not make sense. As a result of the fact that she has won more Grammys than anybody else and has never been awarded Album of the Year, the fact that she was referred to as this young lady rather than by her name triggered some red lights and indicated the possibility of underlying problems in their relationship. When it comes to the Album of the Year that did not win the most Grammys, that is not something that comes naturally to me. When you go home tonight, some of you will feel as though you have been taken advantage of. Rob claims that Beyonce is releasing her new album and hair care items far more quickly than she had originally planned in order to maximize her earnings before any potential fallout occurs. Beyonce appears to have felt compelled to speed up the deployment process, despite the fact that the rollout had been planned out in advance. Fans are under the impression that Beyonce is well aware of the impending storm and is taking prompt action in order to protect her financial future for a considerable amount of time to come. Even if they are together, there is a possibility that there will be a backlash as a result of Jay-Z's questionable activities with Diddy. The fact that they are already living apart is one of the reasons why we might be witnessing one of the most significant divorces in the history of Hollywood. There are only a certain number of skeletons in the closet that Jay-Z can buy off or suppress until he is unable to keep a lid on them any longer, and they are both aware of this fact. Jay-Z is the next person to be exposed. Regarding the question of who will be the victim of the breakout in the Second Life scenario, you guys might want to inquire with Jason Lee. I am not certain. I just wanted to let you know that once everything is brought to light and Jay-Z is held accountable for his actions, you will find Beyonce in the war room at some point in the future. She might or might not give an interview, but if you happen to catch their public release, she might say something along the lines of, "Oh, the Carters have been separated for some time, they built this beautiful life together." In addition to all of this, it is possible that they will embark on yet another tour or release yet another record before all of this is over. Due to the fact that, in the end, they prioritize their financial gain and will operate in a manner that is beneficial to their brand, I cannot say for certain. Should we ask Beyonce if she still has feelings for him? During this tumultuous situation, he is the only person she is aware of, and it appears like Jason may genuinely have some insider information about Beyonce. In spite of the fact that it is still unclear whether he intends to speak out or not, there is one thing that can be said with absolute certainty: if he does decide to speak out, he will not hold back. Therefore, Beyonce ought to give some thought to the possibility of scheduling that interview for him sooner rather than later. Subscribe Rumor Spill for more videos.